As I head out to my garden plot, my Back to Eden garden plot, I am reminded of God's garden and how He, as the master gardener, takes care of all of this. And that's what I wanted to talk about today as I head to the garden. What does God's gardening plan and the way He gardens have to do with our garden? Well, have you ever heard of permaculture? Permaculture is a method that actually reflects nature. And it is something that I did on the homestead and I advocated as part of a sustainable part of living. The problem with how we garden and how we live is we have manicured and landscaped God right out of the picture. He is the master gardener. And if we want true success in how we garden on our homesteads, we really should be looking at implementing not just the Back to Eden garden method, which follows God's way of gardening. Now, permaculture is man's word, actually, I think, for God's perfect recipe with caring for this earth. It actually just means utilizing everything that is in creation, including the rocks, the trees, the butterflies, the earthworms, the bees. When you keep things natural and you don't manicure nature out of your living space, God can actually do His work the best. It can allow creation to do what it's designed to do, and that's create life, create nature and a living space that we were actually designed for. We were designed for the garden. And because of sin, we were kind of exiled from that garden, but we can have it back. So as I walk to my garden, I'm going to show you what it looks like this morning. It's getting there. I've got a neighbor now who just weeded everything, and they're going to be doing a different method. So it's going to be interesting to compare one half to my very natural half. But again, I want to remind people, if you are looking at gardening, and here I can't do it so much, but I try to implement the permaculture, because with the wood chips, it actually will reflect nature and God's perfect plan. But all surrounding here, they want to start cutting the grasses. They want to start mowing things down. And you can see they already mowed things here to give us a path. That's all fine and dandy, but the problem with that is, again, we are manicuring God and nature out of it. We want the long grasses, because in the long grasses, when you see, look at that, there's life, there's flowers, there's little grasshoppers, there's bees that come in. Don't be cutting nature and creation out of your gardening picture. Don't be doing that. We have these perfectly manicured lawns, and that doesn't serve a purpose. It doesn't bring in the bees and the butterflies and things that will help regenerate and grow and restore. So a great reminder this morning, God has the perfect recipe for us. And if you want to be successful in your growing endeavors, in your garden, in your living space, and you want to make it more sustainable, just use God's recipe. And that is implementing a permaculture mindset. Use the rocks, use the trees, keep the grasses long, throw out some wildflowers seeds, and just allow things to grow. Don't manicure God out of your living space. That's kind of a Starry 101 tip. All right. God bless, my friends.